heck is going on, guys? Welcome back to Let Us Review Cinema. We are missing another person yet again, Mr. Jonathan. He decided not to go to the movies with us, and we saw Send Help, Sam Raimi's newest film, director of the greatest trilogy on Earth, Spider-Man. This movie stars Dylan O'Brien and Rachel McAdams. Is that her name?
That's right, yeah.
All right, Pete.
You're thinking of Amy Adams and Rachel McAdams. They both have the same last name. So that's the mistake I made on our last episode with Luke whenever we did the bracket thing. I said Rachel Adams instead of Rachel McAdams. So I do apologize. Even I make mistakes. So we'll get over that.
Dude, John Adams even has the same last name, and I get confused with all three of them.
Okay, that seems like more of a you problem. Two of them are actors. John Adams is not an actor.
He's also a dude, so that should have been the giveaway.
Yeah,
he's got a penis. Anyway,
that's crazy.
Anyway,
that's wild.
We are gonna review this movie, but before we do, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If you like seeing more of us, go check out our hour-plus long podcast episodes. They're on Spotify and YouTube. If you want to see us, but if you don't want to see us, but you still want to hear our pretty little voices, go over to Spotify. You'll get just as much fun over there. Mr. Whitaker.
I'm sure our voices aren't that pretty, honestly. This is it. Our voices are super unpretty, but hey, you get a lot of uncut stuff with those episodes. Just nothing is. It's all wild. Just no bars held. Just going crazy. But yes, Mr. Trevor, you were asking me something.
Mr. Whitaker, what do you rate Send Help?
Do I just want to give a number first, or do I want to give a quick synopsis of why I'm giving it a number first?
Do whatever you feel like.
All right, I'm just going to start with the number because it seemed like it confused you a lot. This movie, I'm going to give a solid 9.5 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. It was another thing that I knew what I was going in for. Sam Raimi, I've watched a couple of his movies outside of the Spider-Man trilogy series with Tobey Maguire. I watched a couple of movies with Evil Dead and Bruce Campbell. Absolutely love his work. He's a very good practical horror director. And he obviously had that still in mind, which I'm so glad they were able to bring back a lot of more practical effects for this movie and not rely so much on CGI. But this movie as a whole, bombshell movie. It was so entertaining to watch. It kept you actively engaged because you knew this was going to be I wouldn't call it a horror movie per se because it didn't really have many horror elements. It just had a lot of thriller elements as a whole. But I really loved how it kept you engaged. Trevor, with the entire time, was just sitting there so nervous, just kind of curl up in a little ball because he didn't know what he was going to expect. He was so just distraught.
I just the movie.
I love watching movies with Trevor that he does not particularly like to enjoy watching because I love seeing his reaction. It was the same thing for what was it? The
Conjuring.
The Conjuring. We were both just not in the mood for that movie. Not as bad. Hey, I'll tell you, did not get us as well as Sinners did. Sinners got us good.
Bro.
That was the first time I ever screamed in a movie theater because of that movie.
And
but
Weapons,
regardless
bro.
to say,
Weapons got us really well.
That's true. Yeah,
you spazzed out.
I mean, the snake. I did. I spazzed a little too much because Aunt Gladys terrified the freak out of me. But Send Help was a really good masterpiece. There was a couple things I didn't really like about the movie, but we'll get later on into those during the spoilers. But yeah, 9.5 out of 10 for this movie. But Trevor, what were your thoughts about the movie?
Oh yeah, I'm right around the same range as you, but just so I don't give the same exact score as you, I'm gonna go 9.25. I'll go 0.25 less than you, and overall, throughout this movie, I was hooked the entire time. I really liked their choices of just going straight into it. They didn't do a whole lot of wasted character building, wasted time doing that. They introduced you to the two main characters, and then they just dove straight right into the action, basically. That's what it felt like. I really like their choice of that. There's just one small thing about one of the characters that me and Whitaker talked about and both kind of agree on, and I just don't like, I guess, that choice or like that character trope about them, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, we'll get into that. That's why I gave it 9.25. Mr. Whitaker, go ahead. Start just listing things that you really liked about the movie. It seems to be a lot.
All right, this is your spoiler warning for those of you who've not seen the movie. This is your chance to go get off the video or skip to later on when we have a different segment we're probably going to be going into. You got 2 seconds.
1, 2. All
right, moments passed. Let's get into one of the first memorable parts of the movie, the tuna sandwich on the lip moment. That part I loved a lot because it opened up a little bit of my sense of OCD a little bit. And so watching that scene, it was like, just like I was looking at the movie and I was thinking to Dylan O'Brien's character's moment. I was thinking like, dude, I would have just already just like, I'm going to stop you right there. And you get a little thing on your face. All right, continue. I don't really care what you have to say, but I'm just going to sit here and just be like, yeah, move on. So that was the first part that I really liked because it really opened up the OCD. And dude, the camera angles, how zoomed in and focused it was with such high quality on that. Like that was a peak moment of cinematography for me that I really enjoyed. I'm sure another part for you that you also liked was the part whenever
I'm sorry.
Who's there?
My mom was
there?
walked in.
Another scene I also enjoyed was the crash scene. Okay, there's some things I liked and some things I didn't like. One of the things I really, really liked was the chaoticness of the scene, but I feel like there were some elements that were missing. I feel like there was a lot more to the pilots. We didn't see anything happening to the pilots during the entire going down scene. Like we never saw anything with them, and I was maybe kind of like curious. I'm like, yeah, what happened to the pilots? Like we're not going to show the pilots like at all, and all that kind of stuff. The violence of the scene where people are trying to survive, I really like the dynamic of that because it's probably what actually would happen. Also, the jump scare with the the what was it, the flight attendant with the practical effects. I love that part. I was like, ugh, I did not see coming at all because it was just like
when she got out of
nowhere.
The water.
Yeah, like
dude, that reminded me of Jaws. Whenever they're going to the abandoned ship and they see the dead guy just float up. It reminded me of that.
I think that reminded me more of Smile. You saw Smile, right? Where there's that one scene where the lady, she's going to her car and there's another lady walking there and the head just like swivels down. You know what I'm talking about?
No. I'll have to look it up.
It's a great. Yeah, I think Jonathan would know what I'm talking about, but he's not here, sadly, which would be a very rare moment for him. If he was actually here, he would know what we're talking about for once. No, we love Jonathan. Yeah, that was a good key moment there because it really kind of set the stage of what we knew was going to happen. For myself, I felt like this movie was like, for those of you who've seen Castaway with Tom Hanks, there's a scene that you probably know where, if anyone's seen it, they're going to know what I'm talking about, where after he knocks his tooth out with the ice skate and then he kind of passes out, there's a flash forward to 7 years later. I felt like this movie was probably that like 7 years later process of going mad, going crazy, all that kind of stuff. That is really kind of missed in a lot of like Castaway movies or, you know, movies about plane crashes on tropic islands or anything like that. So I really am glad they played into the actual psychology of that rather than the fact of, you know, saying, oh, they're just all going crazy. But the fact that Rachel McAdams' character has like been prepping for this for years.
Yeah.
Like she's wanted to be on Survivor. Like she already knows how to live here. And so that really kind of gave into the whole psychology of her just staying there because she doesn't have to worry about anything because she's already know what she's got to do for the rest of her life, which is just be there. And I think it was just also because of the fact she had a big crush on Dylan O'Brien's character, which granted, that guy is hot. Dylan O'Brien, hot actor. But
It's so gay, bruh.
Hey, shut up. Who else is in here?
What?
That's so weird.
Whatever.
Anyways, but I think overall it was a great movie that really played in psychology. I'll let you kind of get into other movies because I don't want to try to steal away from all the good moments in the movie.
Oh, I
So,
don't
what was
mind.
your?
I don't mind. You can keep
No,
bringing stuff
I mean,
up, and we can have a dialogue about it if you want, or no
right.
matter. Don't
What
matter.
did you feel like was the kind of like the highlight of the movie for you? Like the part that really got you invested?
Definitely the. I think you know.
Oh,
I think you know what scene I'm
wow,
talking about.
the castration. Oh my gosh,
Ah!
dude. I am still like every time I think about that scene, I am still cringing from it.
Mhm.
Not like a bad cringe, but it's like the oh my gosh, dude. Like what a wicked way for that movie to be like, oh, it was not really happening. It was just a rat.
Yeah.
She was cutting into a rat. And I was so like, brother, what? I can see why it says send help because we're going
Mhm.
to need it after this movie.
Yeah.
We're going to need some professional help after this movie.
Yeah. That definitely
Dude,
actually
that's
wasn't my favorite scene. I was just making a joke.
oh,
If that
you were
was
just
my
wanting me to
favorite
talk about
scene, I should look into my sexuality.
yeah, maybe just a little bit, but you
Yeah.
you just want me to say the castrate. You just want me to say castration because it has to do with the penis, right?
Yeah.
Will you kiss your mama with that mouth?
Who is that?
What the?
Did you let someone into this call? Trevor.
No, we're the only two in here. It's just us two.
Okay, well that's odd.
What the balls, bro?
What the
Um,
balls?
It's okay,
Anyway.
bruh.
Who is that?
What the frick?
What the heck is going on? Okay.
Anyways,
Tell me a little bit more how you felt about the movie, other than that scene.
I feel like the best scene, probably the one that stuck out to me the most, was the plane crash scene, just because it felt so realistic. It reminded me kind of like an R-rated version of the plane crash scene from Iron Man 3. Just, the side of the door rips open, everyone's getting sucked out, and not in a gay way, but yeah, and sucked off.
That wasn't
No, I'm
necessary
joking.
with
Okay, yeah,
that.
yeah, you're right.
I'm pretty sure he's not gonna.
for the
Whoever
bit,
is there,
for the
I'm pretty
bit.
sure he's not gonna respond
For the bit.
to.
It was for the bit, dude. I'm sorry.
Anyways,
Um,
yeah, that. I feel like there could have been a little bit more with that scene, though. I'm not gonna lie. The point where the suspenders were like holding that one guy, I was like, that. I don't know about that, but it was
Yeah.
funny. It was funny. To kind of, I like how horror movies. I like how horror movies are. I don't know if this has always been the case, so I'm not gonna say this has always been the case. But I like the fact there are moments in horror movies that I've recently seen that I'm actually able to laugh through them and not just be scared the entire time.
Mhm.
So I'm glad they're adding an element of comedy that doesn't really take away from the movie. I mean, other than the very end, that was
Yeah.
the point I was like, really?
Yeah, the
We're-
ending
we're
was
gonna do it?
weird. Like,
I
I just don't
know. It's like,
understand it. Like, why cut away from it? We've been with
yeah.
These are literally the two main characters. We've been with both of them for probably equal amounts, and when one of them dies, you don't even show it.
Yeah, that was like, I don't know. I definitely feel like I was taken aside after that ending that I don't think was meant to be had. It's like I think you're supposed to see things through Rachel McAdams' point of view, but I honestly was just like, I don't really like her. It's like I feel like she's more unlikable than Daniel O'Brien's character. So I was like,
Dylan
I don't know about that. Dylan, sorry, not Dalen, Daniel. Dylan O'Brien. Sorry. One of my coworkers is actually going to murder me for saying that. She's a bit, very, 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 very big Dylan O'Brien fan. So,
You're done.
But-
You're fired.
I'm done. I'm fun. Might as well start using Letterbox now.
Bro, facts. It helps me out a lot.
Well, that's because you're not as knowledgeable as I am. But even
You-
then, I still make mistakes.
It literally-
I make mistakes. but I
Every
know when to
actor you've
correct them.
named in the past month. Okay, I'll
Not
say
every actor.
45% of the actors you've named in the past month. You've gotten their
Try
names wrong.
35. For 35.
That is still way too high of a number.
Okay, maybe not 35. Let's say 33 because that still leaves 67%. That's still just being said regularly.
Yeah, the ending was weird, especially the end of the ending with the Deadpool fourth wall break.
Yeah,
really
I felt like
difficult.
it wasn't really necessary in my eyes. It was not like a thing where I was like, "Oh, fourth wall break." It was like, really, fourth wall break? What are we doing
Mm-hmm.
here? Like, that doesn't really seem necessary, but
Yeah.
okay. Like, I don't know. I did like how they blended the very ending of Dylan O'Brien.
There you
Just making
go.
sure you're hearing it right.
There you go.
Dylan O'Brien's
I'm making sure
character.
you're saying it right.
I did have like they transitioned that to a good fast moment to where it didn't take forever. You kind of comprehend what was going on. Because of the fact that it was a golf club. I didn't even really notice it was a golf club until that
Really?
transition, which was like, I was thinking it was like I don't know, like a polo stick, like a
Mm.
like horse polo. You know what I'm talking about? I thought that's what it was, but now knowing it's a golf club, I was like, oh, okay, well that was kind of ironic now, isn't it? Because he was looking for someone that actually knew how to golf. Whatever. I mean,
And now she does.
overall, but now she does. Yeah, no, she does. Voice crack central.
Whatever. Whatever. Frick you.
um, how did you feel? I want to know how you felt about this scene. The whole bloody, gory, just like hair ripping, eye gouging. I want to know what your thoughts were on that because I remember being in the theater. I was very vocal whenever I was reacting to that scene. I was like, "Oh, ooh, ah," but I wasn't really paying attention to what you were reacting like. So I want to know how you were feeling, what you were thinking in your brain whenever all the things happened. Just like play by play. I wanted to know the play by play on your mind during that scene.
What was the first? Was the first one the? I think they were biting each other at one point.
I think the first thing they did was tackle each other, and then the hair pull was like the
Was the
first
hair
thing
pull
out
the
of
first
Rachel
one?
McAdams. I think it was because after the hair pull, she bit down into his shoulder. I think it was his
Oh,
right
that's
shoulder,
right. Or I
and
think
then
she bit his hand, then he pulled her hair, then she bit his
that's right. No,
shoulder,
yeah,
and then he
because of
did
the
the
ring.
he did the eye gouging, bro.
Eye gouging was
Literally,
crazy,
I
bro. That
can
was so
watch
wild.
I can watch like a lot of gory like movie stuff, but if someone goes for the eyes, bro, I gotta look away. I was like, that's literally the most disgusting thing you can do to someone.
It's so funny. I actually watched Django Unchained last night. I
Yeah.
know during Black History Month is crazy, but Um, but I was watching that, and I remember the scene where they're getting to I think it's a hotel or someplace with Leonardo DiCaprio, Missio Candy, and they're doing the
The
fight in the
yeah,
hotel room.
yeah.
Um, and that eye gouging scene, I was like, I don't remember it being that like minimal with eye gouging, and I felt like there was something missing with that scene when I was watching the movie again last night. I was like, oh yeah, Send Help did a lot better than what
Yeah,
Django
because they
Unchained
actually
did.
showed it up
Yeah,
close.
the practical effects. That was the part I was like, "Whoa! How did they do that?" Because that had to
Yeah.
been like a split, masking of like a practical doll or something like that to get that effect. Because surely they wouldn't do that to Rachel McAdams' eye. That would ruin her entire career.
If
Like,
she's a
come
method
on.
actor, she would have done it. But
She's Jared
she's a
Leto.
wuss. She's a wuss now, actually.
A wuss? What do you mean? What that wuss did Mean Girls? Also did The Notebook? Like, what do you mean a wuss? Dude, she's a
Speaking of
famous
those,
celebrity.
getting into my negative. Thank you for the great segue, Mr. Whitaker.
Mm.
I do not buy Rachel McAdams as a total nerd slash dweeb, because in Mean Girls she was like the popular girl, if I'm not
Hmm.
mistaken. In The Notebook, she was also like a pretty wealthy, popular, like everyone knew her. And even in Doctor Strange, she's like popular among the doctors. Doctor Strange loves her. And in this movie, she's just a total nerd. Like, it reminded me of watching Jamie Foxx play Electro, where it's
A
just
good
like
segue from Django right there, honestly.
literally, yeah, exactly. It's like literally like watching that. Like, I know they're trying their hardest to show that they can do that, but I just don't buy it at all, just based on how I've seen their other performances.
Yeah, I guess there's just sort of like a really weird stereotype in the movie scene with having people who are like really obsessed with something, having glasses, having like greasy hair, all that kind of stuff. For me, it did remind me of Jamie Foxx's Electro, but more than that, it reminded me of Aldrich Killian in Iron Man 3 more than
Oh,
anything. Like
yeah.
that was the one I was more like,
Uh-huh.
okay, I can see it. But overall, it wasn't really like a nerd type thing. It was just like a really boring aunt, like has got nothing going on with her life. She's working this dead end job for years and years and years, hoping to get a promotion. And she's got obsessed with like cats or birds or whatever. What she had a bird for a pet. But apart from that, I don't really think that was her true character, Just like in the same with Iron Man, like he was not this crippled guy, but he's this genius, all that kind of stuff, which really is going to bring me to the next point on the whole when they're drunk scene, like the fruit, the banana drunk wine or whatever, or the toilet wine is what they called it. That entire scene where she kind of like says, "I've never told anybody this about her husband dying in the accident from being a bad man." I don't really think he was a bad man. I just think that she is just this manipulator because throughout the entire movie, she's having to manipulate Daniel O'Brien's character to convince him, like, "Oh, we don't need to leave. We got everything we got."
Dylan O'Brien.
Sorry. I don't know where I'm getting Daniel O'Brien. I'm probably thinking of Daniel O something. I think of another actor or another someone else in there. Dylan O'Brien's character. Sorry, my bad. I'm giving you a lot of work to do.
No,
with
I'm not
editing.
editing
I'm sorry.
that out.
But there was a lot of manipulation in this game that made me think, okay, what's her goal here? Like, that made me also think, okay, was there also a thing where she manipulated the father of the company, like the head of the CEO, before he died to get that promotion?
Oh, maybe
as well.
Yeah, because
or is she just trying
even
to
associated with the CEO? Like
I don't know.
We don't even get
That's
an
what
explanation.
We barely got a Bruce Campbell cameo in that one. I don't really count that one as a cameo because we did not see him. But I'm guessing there's like a deleted scene or something with him, that there's a flashback to that or whatever. I don't know. I really hope it's just a deleted scene. But I would love to hear Bruce Campbell's voice again in a Sam Raimi movie.
Dude, he's got such a unique voice. I remember playing the Spider-Man 3 game on the Wii, and he's like the narrator for the tutorial. It's so good.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I think he was also in one of the Lego Batman games, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember which character he is, but I remember hearing his voice like very prominently during one of those games. I could be wrong, or it was maybe another video game or something like that. I can't remember what game it was. I remember it was a video game growing up as a kid. For those of you who don't know, I'm 20 years old. I'm not as young as I look, despite the clean-shaven appearance or anything like that. But yeah, Bruce Campbell has always been a standout voice or a standout character as a whole because he is really good at what he does, which it's a kind of more of a watered down version of method acting. He just knows how to really get into character rather than trying to become the character. But yeah, also going back to Rachel McAdams, I didn't really feel like she was kind of like trying to give the character aspect that we were looking for. There was just something that was missing, but I'm glad they really played into the psychology of her being just crazy. Just wanted to stay at that island, even though that's not really what she wanted. She wanted to be on Survivor. That's I'm really trying to come to terms with. Like, why would you? Yes, you have the experience that you would need to just continue to win Survivor, but why would you just want to stay there? Like, honestly, it makes sense because she had really nothing back to go to. She was not going to get that job promotion at all. She knew that she was not going to be promoted whatsoever. And I think that was also just a way for her to get payback without there being any consequences. To Dylan O'Brien's character.
There you go. There you go.
But another negative I had about this movie was the whole mansion part. Like,
yeah, that kind of came out of nowhere.
I didn't get that. I didn't really understand that because of the fact that, like, sure, yeah, there are hundreds of islands on the world and all that kind of stuff, and just like out of all the ones they could have crash landed in the Gulf of, I think it's Gulf of
Thailand.
I don't know. It was Gulf of Thailand or something like that. You have a mansion just like on the island. Like, okay, like we could have done something a little bit more, but it was a good plot point, but it didn't really execute the the satisfaction that it needed having a mansion there that I feel like they could have used to lock him. She could have used to lock him in there, even though he would have everything they would need. But it's still that trapped feeling, you know.
Yeah.
Also, I knew that X on the island was going to be a good direction point. From the moment they gave that big old zoom out of the island, I saw the X there, and I'm like, yeah, that's going to be something. That's not just there. That's not a character trait of the island. That is a big plot point.
It was a little too obvious, a little on the nose.
Yeah. And it was like even the point whenever they were climbing up the hill and she's saying like, oh, don't go over there. That's where the thorn bushes are. I was like, she's hiding something. Yeah.
I thought she was being for real, but then like, I
Mhm.
guess looking back after knowing that that's where the mansion's at, it's like, oh, she was trying to keep him away from like safety, trying to keep him away from back to like sort of a normal life.
Comfort was what she
Yeah.
was trying to keep him away from, to
That's the
being in
word.
that position
Nice.
of being in authority. But it's back to the positives on Dylan O'Brien. I've only seen him in a very select few movies. I've seen him in all the Maze Runner movies. I loved him in that series for that era of dystopian, futuristic movies, all that kind of stuff. Apart from that, I can't remember what else I've seen him in. Was it? Oh no, it wasn't Bullet Train. That was Logan Lerman. Him and
Yeah.
Logan Lerman look very similar.
No, they
very
don't.
similar.
They look nothing alike, bro.
Well, imagine if they were playing brothers, it would be very like sure,
It'd be a
yeah,
little
I could
convincing,
see it.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's where they look a little bit alike. Other than that, I'm trying to remember what else I've seen him in. I know he's been in a couple action movies. He was in
big
Infinite
in
with
Teen Wolf.
Yes,
but I've
that was
never
another
seen that.
thing. He was in Infinite with Mark Wahlberg. Did you see that movie?
No.
No, he was like the super soldier or whatever. He's in another movie with Michael Keaton where he's also playing like an army guy or something like that, like a super weapon, superhuman weapon or something like that.
Mhm.
Very like Fast and Furious, Hobbs and Shaw type stuff. Um, but yeah, I really liked his performance in this. It made me want to side with him because of the fact that like that situation that he was in where he's like, this guy is trapped. Sure, like he's a jerk and a butthole. I'm not gonna say the other word because I've been kind of berated a little bit more because of my language. So
Language.
shut up, Captain America. But I really liked how I sided with Dylan O'Brien's character towards the very end rather than with Rachel McAdams. Because honestly, Rachel McAdams' character was just annoying. Like she just wouldn't die. You know, it's like you've had everything coming at you, and I think there was a little bit of a disadvantage there too that was like kind of meant for Dylan O'Brien's character. Because honestly, if you think about it, if you're a man trapped with a woman on an island, and like sure one of you is thriving but the other isn't, like one of them is going to be at a disadvantage because of the fact that the other one isn't thriving, he's still recovering from that injury. But I really think he could have taken her. Like honestly, out of necessity, he could have just ended her completely.
Yeah, well,
But
I don't know. Only because, she's lived her whole life training to be like like the survivor
a survivalist.
person. And he's
Yeah.
kind of like, I don't want to say snotty-nosed rich kid, but he's like the rich kid who got to where he's at because he's the son of a rich guy and hasn't really
Right.
earned anything on his own, which makes sense why he wouldn't know what to do on the island. So I can see with her training why she was able to overpower him, but it's also Dylan O'Brien versus Rachel McAdams. It's a little hard to believe that
Right.
she
That's
came on top.
that was the part I was struggling with, was the physicality between the two.
Yeah.
Like sure, Rachel McAdams looked like she was in great shape, but Dylan O'Brien still looked like he was a lot bigger.
And
Just like
she
stronger.
was missing
physically.
an eye during the final battle.
Yeah, like well, she
And
wasn't
she's-
missing an eye. It was just very much
Well-
injured. Just very injured eye.
We'll consider that a missing an eye.
But yeah, other than that, I thought the movie was great. The conversations that they had was great. Just for the dialogue of two people that wasn't really having much that was distracting of the part where the fiance came in, which also that was just like really the fiance, like it just felt like a cute out moment. It's like, why are you here? Like I knew from the moment where the fiance showed up on that little boat, I was like, yeah, they dying. and they ain't
Yeah,
getting out of the
from
island.
when they showed up, I didn't know if any of that was real at first. I was like, is she
Hmm.
like hallucinating? Because that's probably like the worst case scenario that could come for Rachel McAdams' character. But I don't know. I feel like it's also really believable in which that his fiance would be the last person looking for him because he doesn't have any family really anymore, and all of
Hmm.
his close friends are probably very close to him because he's super rich and the CEO of a company because like he
Yeah,
hired his best friend as his vice
from
president,
college.
you know.
Yeah.
Um
Hmm.
so I feel
But
like
another thing
that's the
too
only
that
person he has left, you know.
yeah, apart from his mother, which we don't know what
Yeah,
there
we
was
don't know
not really any
anything about her.
subcontext if the mother was still alive or not for Dylan
Yeah.
O'Brien's character. Um, but something that also kind of struck me as kind of weird, I don't know if you caught onto it as well, was the transition at the very end from whenever Dylan O'Brien dies. I say die because we don't really know what happened to him, other than the fact
He's
that
definitely dead,
he
bro.
probably got, well, he probably is definitely dead, but we didn't actually see him die. Not saying that we probably will see him back, but I'm not sure. There's no like confirm that he's dead or if he's alive,
This isn't a
right?
Marvel movie, bro.
I
He's dead.
know, but
He's dead.
I okay. Okay. Just entertain the possibility.
Okay.
Okay? Don't have to just
It's
entertain the
potential.
idea, okay?
Potentially
It's
still alive.
potential. We didn't even see him get hit in the head. I'm not like we didn't see the contact. The only contact we saw was with the golf ball, not with his head.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
apart from that, um, that's made me start to think: how did she get off the island?
My guess is that she just waited out at the mansion until another one of those boats came by, like the
I was
delivery
thinking
boats.
this. I was thinking the exact same thing because there was not, or it was the search party that was looking for them.
Oh yeah, and maybe
That's what I'm
looking for
thinking
the
because we,
fiance too because she gone.
yes, but that's the thing too. I'm really curious about is the fact that she had all this stuff set up, right? But there was we weren't given a time period on what it looked like after the events of killing Dylan O'Brien's character or anything like that. Um, but it's like, how do you try to hide all those bodies? You have
Mm,
3 dead people on a very small island. Two of them are one of them is washed up on the shore. That Dylan
yeah,
O'Brien found his fiance was still on the shore. We don't know what happened to the guy who drove the boat. We don't know where his corpse is. But how do you try to hide a body on? Oh, the hogs.
oh probably.
Oh, that would
But
make sense. The
bro,
wild
when it
boars.
showed the fiance's hand sticking out of, that was disgusting to watch. First of all,
Yeah.
but that got me thinking: was she buried under the sand, or did her hand freaking break off of the rest of her body and was just sticking out?
I don't know. I think that was her burying her because it does not. It's not. That's that's like a very like.
Nasty.
It's a nasty thing to do, but that kind of ties into the question of like, has she done this before? Has she like killed people that have just been that have wronged her
Her
before?
husband.
Her husband, i.e., or Dylan O'Brien's character. So that's the thing I'm trying to come to terms with. Is she a serial killer? Or is she just someone who really had a backup plan on surviving an island this entire time?
Mm,
Like
okay.
she was planning like to do this. I don't know. We got this outdoorsy vibe from her for sure. Like she doesn't like staying in the city. She like going out to Yellowstone, all these different parks and Yosemite,
Yep.
all those kinds of things. I'm just curious if that was her fallback in case she ever got caught. Was just go live alone in the wilderness of any place. Also, another key part I just now remembering the very first wild boar scene with all the blood, dude.
Snot, bro.
The
Ugh.
snot, the mouth goo. Like what a peak scene for that one. Like that was a good practical like blood effect that didn't really have to rely so much on CGI, but it kind of did rely on CGI. Like all the animals probably had to rely on CGI at that point. Um, but that was also a negative. It was very hard to look at the pig just like as a whole. It was not really just like something you were like,
Not the
I don't
prettiest
believe
thing.
that.
It's no
Not the
Miss
prettiest
Piggy.
thing to look
It's
at.
no Miss Piggy.
Well, yeah, I mean, okay.
If you know, you know. No, I'm joking. Yo, chill.
Well, are you also referencing the fact that Miss Piggy was just in another episode of the Muppets with Sabrina Carpenter?
I heard about that.
No?
I saw a TikTok ad about that.
I saw one too. I don't know what they're doing, but I mean the Muppets and Sabrina Carpenter. Do they not know what her songs are about? Are we sure we want to be giving that message to kids? Come on, Disney, kind of slipping here.
The agenda.
The agenda is being lost. But yeah, overall, I thought it was a great movie. I really enjoyed the cinematography of it, how it was set up. The story was definitely there. There was a lot of things that kind of made you think deeper into the story and the character. Dude, I feel like after watching Wonder Man, I'm very much like Simon when it's like dissecting characters and all that kind of stuff. I'm like doing mental notes and all that kind of stuff, which I really love. That I'm actually like adapting that part of my lifestyle, taking on character traits from different characters. But yeah, really loved the movie. Loved everything about it. Again, 9.5 out of 10 for me.
Yes, 9.25 for me. This is my favorite movie of the year. I still don't think it's the best movie of the year. I think Dead Man's Wire is still the best, technically. But
So good.
This is my favorite movie of the year.
Did we ever review Dead Man's Wire?
Yeah. Yeah.
Did we?
It's on the channel. You haven't watched it. That makes sense.
I'm trying to remember when we did it.
Because John was going to different parts of his room because he hadn't seen
Oh,
it.
that's right. My bad. I completely left my mind. I'm so sorry about that, Trevor.
forgive you.
I did watch it. I just
No, you didn't. No,
this
it's okay. It's okay.
Okay, cool. Whatever. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. Good movie. Highly recommend for people. I'm probably going to try to get my parents to watch it with me so I could just stare at them the entire time during the moments where it's like the really intense stuff's going to happen. They'd be like, my mom, she'll probably be like, "Oh, no, I'm leaving."
Are they into those kind of movies at all?
No, they just always ask me if I go see a movie, it's worth watching. Like my dad, he wanted to go see
Okay.
Marty Supreme, and I'm being very minimal with the detailing on that movie because I want him to
Yeah.
experience it. It was the same thing for Deadpool and Wolverine because like I just can't watch. It's too many crude jokes. I'm like, okay, that's fair. Like I can understand that part. But hopefully I get to watch it with them, especially being an AMC A-list member. I got 4 free movies a week. We ballin', y'all. We ballin'. We ballin'. But all in all, thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to go like, subscribe, and share to all your friends. Also, let us know what other movies we should review as well. We'll be doing another segment kind of soon on Throwback Thursdays, to where we go back and do reviews of older movies. And by older, I mean older than 2 years old and beyond, because that's still nostalgic in my eyes. COVID kind of did a little bit of a year bender on me, so 2020. But yeah, make sure to go like on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and Spotify. We love y'all so much. Peace out.
Ooh.